Breaking news right now. 7 News confirming investigators from Colorado are on the way to North Texas at this hour to see if the shootout and high-speed chase that ended in this fiery crash is connected to the murder of Colorado Corrections Chief Tom Clements.
So this whole thing in Texas started around 11:20 this morning with a routine traffic stop in Montague County. A deputy pulling over a black Cadillac with Colorado plates. The driver, possibly the suspect in Clements' murder, shoots the deputy twice in the chest, once in the head, then takes off, sparking a high-speed pursuit through traffic. A police chief in the area saying the driver shot at him, sticking his arm out the window of the moving vehicle, firing at police.
Ebel was a troubled youth, to say the least. He spent several months in different institutions as a child. His father had him sent to a boarding school out of state. He had kicked in someone's door and gunpoint demanded money of everybody at the door or everybody in the house. He had been committed numerous times, pulling knives on people. He'd been in a lot of trouble as a juvenile.
But we're also learning within the last 90 minutes this may be not only the beginning of a much larger but a far-reaching investigation.
Colorado is sending and should be here this evening investigators that are working on that case and other homicide cases in the Colorado area.
Now, one of those cases, last week's murder of pizza delivery man Nate Leone in Denver. Authorities in Texas finding a pizza box and delivery jacket in the wrecked car.
Gets out to Texas, takes his Cadillac down to Texas. Cop tries to pull him over. Cop walks up on the right-hand side as a thing. I don't think the cop recognized. Some of the reports say that, the cop spotted the thing, and then the cop spotted the car, and so once he recognized the car, that's why he pulled him. Well, he didn't act like it whenever he walked up to it. He walking up to it nonchalant, not like he thinks dude's got a gun or anything like that. So the cop walks up on the passenger side. Dude hits him 3 times, twice in the chest, once in the face. Evan cracks him out of the window like this, like bop, 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 right? Drops it, so takes off. As an adult, he heads right off to prison, and almost immediately ends up in solitary confinement for assaulting a guard. And this seems to be where Evan's spiral really starts. His father, who, as it turns out, was actually friends with friends with Governor John Hickenlooper at the time, the governor of Colorado, had actually spoken to him apparently about, he says that they didn't speak about a specific inmate. They just talked about solitary confinement. That's probably a lie. I'm sure he probably called and said, hey, my son's in solitary confinement, da, 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 da. But this is what his father described. His father said that any mental health problems that Evan may have had prior to being put in solitary confinement seems to have been exacerbated. His father said that he would drive 2 to 3 hours to go see his son, and the visits would be a couple hours long, and it would take him an hour and a half just to calm down. He would be so agitated about the guards, about what they had done to him, about what they were currently doing to him, about how they were treating him. His behavior spiraled.
In that January, in June of 2004, he shot himself twice, once in the stomach and once in the leg. Reporting live, Amanda Cost, 7 News.
They say known white supremacist Evan Ebel of Colorado was behind the wheel, driving across Texas at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, shooting his gun at officers along the way.
Couldn't make it on parole. Every time he'd go back to the joint, straight back into the hole, back into the box, solitary confinement.
And new information in the case of a man killed in this Texas shootout. He's believed to be responsible for 2 Colorado murders. 7 News learning investigators found bomb-making materials in his car, as well as handwritten instructions to the home of Colorado Corrections Chief Tom Clements.
At some point during his incarceration, Evan Ebel joined the 211 crew, joined up with the white boys in Colorado, started doing their thing. But like I said, the majority of the time that he had been incarcerated, he was spent in solitary confinement. He's finally released, decides that he's going to kill the director of prisons. I'm not sure what his motivation is. I don't know that anybody knows what his motivations are, other than possibly just to kill the director of prisons, maybe just cause mayhem. Maybe this is what he felt. Maybe perhaps he felt that prisons had ruined his life. I'm not sure, and maybe he wanted to hold this man responsible. So he, that night, it's not quite clear exactly if he just stumbled upon Nate Leone, or if he called and ordered a pizza, or what the situation is. But he encounters Nate Leone, who is a Domino's pizza delivery driver.
Now, one of those cases, last week's murder of pizza delivery man Nate Leone in Denver. Authorities in Texas finding a pizza box and delivery jacket in the wrecked car. The Call 7 investigators also breaking new information all day on the 7 News app about what happened in the moments before Tom Clements was gunned down after answering the door at his house Tuesday night.
Officer safety bulletin, extreme caution. Ross County Sheriff's Office and the Colorado Department of Corrections requesting all law enforcement agencies to be on the lookout for the following parties.
That bulletin warning authorities about this man, 31-year-old Thomas Goulet, also known as Ghost. This is his photo from the Department of Corrections. He's wanted in connection with the murder of Tom Clements at his Monument home. We checked his criminal history, which includes assault and intimidating witnesses. Another man is also wanted, but we don't have his photo. James Lohr is 47. He's known as Jimbo and may be in Nevada or Texas.
Those are known associates of the 211 crew have shown violent tendencies and should be considered armed and dangerous.
Like what are the boxes, the Domino's boxes that keep the pizza hot? Steals one of those. And there's a pizza box as well. Kills this dude, steals that stuff, takes off. The next day, seems that he shows up at the house of the director of prisons. People report seeing a boxy car spotted near the home. It seems that he acted like a delivery driver. Came up, acted like he was delivering a pizza. A struggle ensued in the vestibule. I still haven't got a clear answer as to why a struggle ensued. You would think you just, I got a pizza, boom, and then shoot him. Apparently not. Apparently there was some sort of struggle in Mr. Clements' vestibule. But so the kid flees the scene. Evan Ebel flees the scene. This is all allegedly too. I mean, dude's dead, so they never really tried him. He's never been convicted, so this is all allegedly, right? So kid takes off.
$87.
Cool, is it?
I believe he just blew a tire or something, County. There's smoke coming from the vehicle very bad.
We copy, possibly blown tire.
Still southbound in front of Don Jose's at this time.
Copy, passing Don Jose, southbound. Downtown Decatur, about past 51.
The exit at McDonald's here.
You taking 51 exit?
He's almost PA County. He's turning south on. He's going south on 287. Correction, 380. 380.
And he's going east or west on 380? Business 380.
Walking on each other. 380 in front of Lowe's. stand by, contact Boston.
We've also notified Bridgeport.
Apparently, it's near the Decatur. They're still shooting. Seven 23, did you copy that west traffic? Fleet, major accident.
Hey, fleet.
All 15 designated vehicles stopped. 400. Road medics.
At this time, 16, medic 1 is staged behind one of the vehicles on business 380.
He's down. Shots fired. He's down.
Says, let's go. And just starts letting off. Whop, 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 whop. At the cops. Cops eat him up. As soon as he jumps out the car, the cops eat him up. He's done. And that was the end of Ebel, right? So, the couple days later, news runs a story. And they say, well, Ebel killed the suspect in the murder of Colorado Prisons Chief Tom Clements, connections to the 211 crew, white supremacist gang, 211 crew. It's like it's a grand conspiracy. They're acting like it's a grand conspiracy, you know? So then, 3 days later, Fox News runs with the headline, Al-Turki sought for questioning Al-Turki under investigation. Humayun Al-Turki is under investigation for ordering the hit on Tom Clements.
It was a proud moment for Humayun Al-Turki in a year that has left him in serious legal trouble. Free on bond, paid by the government of Saudi Arabia, Al-Turki hosted Denver's Sunni Muslim community at a Ramadan dinner.
Just having the flavor to be between my brothers and sisters, the Muslim sisters and brothers here, is by itself, something that has a good impact on myself, especially after all of this trouble that I have gone through.
In particular, his lawyers say the government has been looking into the proceeds from Al-Turki's Al-Bashir Islamic bookstore in Aurora.
This is very sad, but we Muslims basically, just after 9/11, we've been profiled.
You remember Humayun Al-Turki? He's from episode 2. The same guy that they were trying to hang for his Indonesian housekeeper, saying that he had kept his Indonesian housekeeper as a sex slave. So now they've got this wild hair up their ass, the DOC does, that this murder that's just happened from a white supremacist, they say a white supremacist prison gang, these buzzwords, okay, from this white supremacist prison gang, just committed this hit. It must have been the Muslims, right? Clearly it was the Muslims. So this Muslim had been denied parole 3 days earlier by Tom Clements, right? He was trying to go back to Saudi Arabia, Humayun Al-Turki. So Tom Clements gets whacked. They put Humayun Al-Turki on skates. Ebel, the man who actually committed the murder, he's dead. He's dead and gone. They can't hold him responsible no more. They go after all these 211 dudes. They ship these 211 dudes all over the country, put them on skates, mess their whole lives up. They don't get to see their families no more, none of this. Now they're just all out, all over the country. And Humayun Al-Turki, they did the same thing, right? So everybody, anybody who could get actually whacked for this, who could get hit for this, is dead. And then everybody else, they're just taking it out on everybody else, right? So you start to see a pattern here of them blaming whoever they could get their hands on, whoever they can, you know what I mean? Whoever they can get their claws into, that's who they're going to blame. It doesn't really have a lot to do with who's guilty and who's not guilty. We're starting to see a pattern here, right? Yeah. So that's Evan Ebel in a nutshell.